If you're looking for the single toughest, most heart-stopping, tension-soaked, and fully unpredictable group in the FIFA World Cup 2026 draw, the one that pundits, data analysts, former players, bookmakers, commentators, tactical experts, and fans across continents are whispering about, tweeting about, debating about, and labeling as the inevitable group of death, then all signs, all metrics, all early expert breakdowns, and all international fan reactions point unmistakably toward Group I. A compact, explosive, high-voltage cluster featuring perennial tournament giant France, a reborn and dangerously confident Senegal, an ambitious and offensively fire-powered Norway, and a fourth challenger, the international playoff winner, a wildcard team whose identity, form, tactical unknowns, and emotional hunger inject even more chaos into this already unpredictable mix. Put simply, Group I is where every match could feel like a knockout round, where every second becomes a tactical battleground, where every defensive lapse becomes a headline-making moment, and where no result will be easy, obvious, predictable, or guaranteed. And this reputation only intensified after the draw on December 5, 2025, when analysts immediately flagged this pool as the tournament's most volatile collection of talent, styles, and footballing storylines. France enters this group not merely as a strong side, but as one of world football's deepest, most tactically flexible, and individually gifted squads. A team that continues blending the hardened experience of players who dominated the greatest stages of world football with an energetic new generation hungry to write its own chapter in French sporting history. They are built around balance, explosive forward play, intelligent midfield structure, world-class distribution from deep positions, and defenders who can play a high line or sit compact depending on the team state. And their latest run of competitive matches shows why they remain a nightmare opponent. Crushing attacking performances against top sides, tactical recalibrations that show a maturing coaching philosophy, clinical finishing, fearless young stars stepping up, and a defensive system that can shut down even the most dynamic counterattacks. At the core of France's threat remains their iconic, world-renowned attacker, a forward with devastating pace, elite dribbling, unpredictable movement, and a modern attacking profile that makes every defensive line uncomfortable from the moment the whistle blows. Behind him are midfield maestros capable of controlling tempo, recycling possession under pressure, threading impossible passes between lines, and dictating whether France plays vertically, slowly, wide, or through the middle. Deeper still are defenders whose reading of the game keeps France stable in tight matches, and a goalkeeper whose reflex saves and command of the box have preserved countless clean sheets in qualifiers and Nations League fixtures. Any opponent facing France understands that a moment's hesitation, a poorly timed step, a misjudged tackle, or a lapse of concentration opens the door to a devastating counterpunch that can change the complexion of the match instantly. Senegal, meanwhile, arrives not as an underdog but as a fully evolved footballing nation capable of unsettling even the most elite teams. Carrying into Group I the momentum of strong African performances, impressive showings in international friendlies, and tactical growth that has earned them respect worldwide. Their national program has matured from being seen as an energetic outsider into a well-oiled machine combining defensive structure, pressing intelligence, athletic superiority, and lethal transition play. Their front line features explosive wingers whose acceleration breaks defensive lines, an athletic central striker capable of finishing from tight angles or bullying defenders physically, and an evolving playmaking setup that allows them to punish teams that commit too many players forward. Their midfield blends box-to-box engines with technical creators, players who recover possession, launch transitions, delay counters, and spray accurate long balls into space. Defensively, Senegal remains one of Africa's most disciplined units, with center-backs who are strong in duels, full-backs who support both phases of play, and a goalkeeper capable of momentum-shifting saves. While Senegal may not have the squad depth of France or the European superpowers, their chemistry, hunger, athleticism, and recent results make them not only dangerous, but capable of beating any team in this group on any day in any stadium under any pressure. Their tactical profile is uniquely problematic for possession-oriented teams. When opponents push high, Senegal exploits space. When notches get physical, Senegal thrives. And when the pace quickens, their raw speed becomes a weapon no defensive line enjoys dealing with. Norway brings a completely different style of danger, a modern Scandinavian transformation from a disciplined, defensively oriented team into one of Europe's most offensively intimidating rising forces. Their qualifying campaign has been highlighted by remarkable attacking numbers, high-scoring wins, and the ruthless efficiency of their superstar striker. A goal machine that terrorizes defenders at club level and now commands defensive double marking at international level. His blend of finishing instinct, explosive acceleration, timing, physical dominance in the box, movement between lines, and unmatched aerial authority gives Norway a tactical dimension that forces opponents to alter their defensive structure entirely. Surrounding him are a supporting cast of technically polished wide players, intelligent midfielders, attacking fullbacks, and set-piece specialists. Norway's wing play combines direct dribbling with cutback patterns, while their midfield can switch between a high-tempo press and calm build-up sequences. This team has grown tactically. They can dominate possession when needed or hit on the break when opponents overcommit. And their defensive core has shown the ability to frustrate even elite European attacks when their shape remains compact. When their star players are fit and firing, Norway can match or outperform world-class opponents. And their presence in this group elevates its difficulty to unprecedented levels. For a team like France, Norway presents aerial threats and second ball dangers. For Senegal, Norway's physicality and structure create a very different challenge. And for the playoff team, facing Norway's striker is a task few defenses look forward to. Completing Group I is the international playoff winner, the wildcard entry whose identity remains unconfirmed at the time of discussion, but whose journey will inevitably be defined by pressure, desperation, competitive fire, and high-stakes battles. Playoff teams historically arrive with an underdog mentality, tactical discipline, and a fearless approach. They survive elimination matches, often away from home, sometimes across continents, and come into the World Cup with nothing to lose and everything to prove. This team could be an experienced nation that narrowly missed direct qualification, or it could be a gritty outsider whose cohesion and emotional unity make them extremely difficult to break down. Their lack of predictability adds an analytical layer coaches dislike, because while France, Senegal, and Norway can scout each other clearly, the playoff team's tactics, squad rotation, form, and player selection are unknowns until months before kickoff.
A team arriving through a playoff often treats the World Cup like a personal final. Aggressive, fearless, physically intense, and tactically compact, making them capable of frustrating bigger teams and stealing unexpected points that shape the entire group. When all four teams are combined, Group I becomes a tactical battleground defined by contrasting philosophies, rapid momentum swings, and psychological pressure. Coaches must prepare multiple game plans for each opponent. France may need one structure against Senegal's counterattacks, another against Norway's aerial strength, and another against the playoff entrants' unpredictability. Senegal's staff must decide when to press high, when to sit deep, and how to contain Norway's striker without leaving gaps for France's wingers. Norway must figure out how to transition quickly without exposing themselves to Senegal's counters or France's midfield controllers. The playoff team must decide whether to bunker deep or take bold risks. Squad rotation becomes critical because with the North American travel schedule and heat variations, stamina could determine knockout survival. As analysts explain, Group I is difficult not simply because of names, but because of styles. Possession-dominant France, transitional Senegal, direct vertical Norway, and an unpredictable playoff entrant create a group where every team can exploit a specific weakness in another. Why do so many experts already call Group I the toughest? Because measurable factors, average FIFA rankings, strength of schedule statistics, recent qualifying trends, player form, expected goal metrics, offensive output, defensive consistency, all point to this group having one of the highest concentrations of elite-level football quality. Historically, groups containing one European powerhouse, one African giant, one European dark horse, and an unpredictable qualifier have produced the most iconic upsets and dramatic finishes. France's pedigree and world superstar presence inject automatic pressure into every fixture. Senegal's rise, tactical sophistication, and continental confidence position them as dark horses with knockout potential. Norway's superstar-driven attack and revitalized tactical identity give them the ability to dismantle even elite teams. And the playoff entrants' unknown qualities create permutations that analysts cannot fully model. In simple terms, this group has no easy team, no team expected to collapse, and no team expected to be overwhelmed by the moment. For YouTube creators and football storytellers, this group offers endless content, dramatic match previews, tactical analyses, storyline-focused episodes, player breakdowns, coach strategies, injury updates, and prediction videos. A script can build suspense around France's midfield dynamics, Senegal's counter-attacking patterns, Norway's set-piece routines, and the playoff team's emotional narrative. Viewers will be drawn to subplots. Will France's young prospects take the spotlight? Can Senegal rewrite African World Cup history? Will Norway's star striker dominate the biggest stage of all? Will the playoff winner shock the world like past tournament upsets? Every match promises storylines layered with pressure, pride, and unpredictability. When breaking down squads individually, France's roster allows you to highlight their clinical qualifying victories, dominant Nations League performances, depth in attack, world-class midfield distribution, athletic fullbacks, defensive leaders, and a veteran goalkeeper whose shot-stopping remains elite. Senegal's section can highlight AFCON triumphs, key friendlies, emerging young talents, top European-based players, fast wingers, powerful central defenders, and a midfield core built around energy and intelligence. Norway's section can focus on their high-scoring qualifiers, standout wins against strong European sides, their star strikers' club dominance, creative midfielders, overlapping fullbacks, and dangerous set-piece specialists. The playoff entrance profile emphasizes resilience, their journey through dramatic qualifiers, clutch goals, tactical grit, emotional hunger, and players who stepped up in crucial moments. From a tactical perspective, narrators can analyze how France's possession-centric style could be countered by Senegal's pressing traps or Norway's compact defensive lines, how Senegal's speed and verticality could exploit high defensive lines, how Norway's striker forces teams to make numerical adjustments in defense, and how the playoff team may play pragmatically to steal points. Coaches in this group face huge decisions, whether to rotate early or late, whether to chase wins or settle for draws, whether to play adventurous football or conservative strategies. A single mistake, a misplaced pass, a moment of panic, an injury, or a tactical misread could reshape the entire group table. Ultimately, Group I stands out not because of hype, but because of substance. A collision of footballing philosophies, France's technical dominance, Senegal's athletic counterpunching, Norway's direct vertical threat, and the playoff team's unpredictable mentality creates a perfect storm that makes every match feel like a miniature final. Experts, journalists, data analysts, and fans worldwide began circling these fixtures immediately after the draw, marking this group as the one most likely to deliver early tournament classics, upset victories, emotional drama, viral moments, tactical masterpieces, and unforgettable footballing chaos when the world's biggest sporting festival explodes into life on North American soil.